students. Today we are going to discuss about topper IIT-NEET Foundation. In that we are going to discuss about 8th class biology. Okay. So in the 8th class biology, what is the first lesson? Introduction to biology. So the topic we will discuss today. Okay. So then coming to the topic. So that is in Topper IIT NEET Foundation, and it gives the basic information about the biology. So in that first lesson, that is about introduction to biology. So what is meant by biology and what are the different branches are there in the biology, and how the organisms we are differentiated and classifying the biology. So in the biology, so that all are we are discussed in this topic. Okay, so coming to this actual topic, in that first of all we are going to discuss about biology. So biology, this term is a Greek word. So it is a Greek word. In the Greek word, the biology means nothing but study of life. So study of the life is nothing but biology. So in that biology, we are having only two parts are there. So one is biology, bios, and the second one is logos. So bios means life. Bios means life. And logos means knowledge or study. Knowledge or study is called as biology. Means here we are discussing knowledge. So here the biology is nothing but study of life. What is meant by life? So in our nature, many of the organisms are undergoing existence in the nature. Okay, so for climatic conditions are so many possibilities, many organisms are surviving in the nature. So the survival of the organism is mainly due to the presence of life. So in the nature, mainly we are divided the organisms which are having life into two types. One is plants are there, and the second one is animals are there. One is plants are there, and the second one is animals are there. So these plants and animals are study means their growth and their developments. What are the uses? All are we are discussed in this biology term. Okay, so this biology is first time it was proposed or introduced by one of the scientists called as Aristotle. Who is that? Aristotle. That's why Aristotle is considered as father of biology. In the 380 to the 324 BC to the 384 BC, he is the scientist and he is proposed and discussed about this biology terminology. So in Greek language, the biology means study of life. So whatever the organism which is existing their life, that living organisms, we are studied in that topic by discussing this biology. So in the biology, there are mainly two parts are there. One is bios and the second one is logos. Bios means life and logos means study or knowledge. So in the bios means life means there are so many number of organisms are existing and they are performing their life on the earth or environment. So the earth leading organisms, what are they? Mainly they are divided into two types. One is plants and second one is animals. So these both plants and animals we are discussed in this biology topic. Okay, so how the organisms are divided and how we are studying that plants and the animals, what are the different branches which are related to this biology, all are we are discussed in this section. Okay, so coming to these plants, so in the science points where we are studying about the plants, plant mechanisms, plant functions, what are the parts and what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, how the life is overcoming and what is meant by photosynthesis, what are the plant activities, metabolic activities. These are all we are discussed to the plants is comes under one study that is called as botany. So in this botany, botany means plants. Botany means plants. So that's why the study of plants is nothing but botany we are calling. And the second one, animals. So what are the animal structure is there? What is the function of that animal organisms? And what are the different types? And what is the classification? What are the different metabolic activities which are present in that organisms? These are all comes under these animals. So animals study is called nothing but zoology. What is that? Zoology. In the Greek language, zoo means animal. Jude means animal and logos means study or knowledge. So this is in biology. Again we are divided this biological study into mainly two types. One is plant dealing life science and second one is animal dealing science. Plant dealing science is called as botany and animal dealing science is called as zoology. Simply we can say that biology is nothing but study of life. Biology is nothing but study of life. And botany is nothing but study of plants. And zoology is nothing but any study of animals. So these are the simple terminology regarding biology and what are the branches which are present in the biology. Then coming to the botany. So from the BC time onwards, there are so many number of scientists are there. They are dealing and they are research going on and they are studying more and more number of plants. So there in one of the scientists who know very easily by, so one of the term is Theophrastus. So he is one of the scientists. He is also called as father of botany and deals with many number of plants and what are the plant uses, advantages and plant metabolic activities. So this study will be done in so many different varieties of the plants by Theophrastus. So that's why Theophrastus we will consider as father of botany. Father of botany. Who is that? Who is the scientist we are calling father of botany? Theophrastus. Who is the father of biology? Aristotle is considered as father of biology. Then coming to the next one, that is about zoology. So in the zoology, the study of animals we will consider, means animal metabolic activities, what are the different type of organisms are there and what is the different classification in the animals and how the organisms will saying that animal studies. So these animal metabolic activities, these are all comes under this zoology. So then coming to the next one, that is about different branches which are related to the botany and zoology. In that, for example, we can go to the so one of the scientists. So coming to the some of the scientists which are related to this scientific which are related to the biology. One of the scientists we are calling them as Mendel. So Mendel works on the pea plant for the law of inheritance, for proposal of law of inheritance. So he is proposed law of inheritance. So what is meant by inheritance here? So inheritance means the characteristics which are transformed from one generation to the another generation, or simply we can say the characters which are transformed from parents to the offsprings, how they are transferring, what is the logic behind that, and how the organisms are transferring different characteristics from parent to the offsprings, or what are the differences which are occurs in that activities. These are all are comes under this law of inheritance. So this law of inheritance was proposed by Gregor John Mendel. So that's why the study of law of inheritance we are calling them as genetics. What is that science? Genetics. So in the genetics, Mendel mainly proposed some laws about the inheritance. Inheritance or heredity means the characteristics which are transformed from one person to the parent to the offsprings. Process is called as inheritance, and the scientist is Mendel. So that's why Mendel is considered as father of genetics. And another scientist we know familiarly is the Charles Darwin. Who is that? Charles Darwin. So he is the one of the scientists. He mainly deals with evolution. How the organisms are evolved in the earth. So how the life is arised on the earth, and what is the earth composition before starting the life on the earth, and how the earth will forms a different type of molecules and then life production on the earth. So these are and how the organisms are existing on their life, and what are the behavioral activities which are proposed by different organisms. These are comes under this evolution. And from lower organisms to the higher organism, how the organisms are evolved. These are comes under this evolution topic. Then coming to the another important scientist he is the Louis Pasteur. Who is that scientist? Louis Pasteur. He is also one of the eminent scientists, mainly deals with the microbiology. Means what are the microorganisms which are present on the earth, and how the microorganisms are useful, and how the microorganisms are useful in industrial manner, and what are the advantages or disadvantages of the microbes in the environment, and what are the diseases which are caused by the microorganisms, and how we are developing industrially useful microorganisms. These are mainly studied by this Louis Pasteur. So that's why we are considered Louis Pasteur as one of the father of modern microbiologist. Father of modern microbiologist means microorganisms. Micro means small, very smallest. So organism biology means life. So means here the organisms which are very smallest in nature, means which can't see with our naked eye. The type of organisms are called as microorganisms. These microorganisms simply we can study by using microbiology. So how the organisms are evolved, and what are the uses and disadvantages, what are the diseases which are caused by different type of microorganisms. These are all comes under this microbiology. So who is the scientist mainly studied about this microbiology? Louis Pasteur. Okay. Then coming to the next one, that is branches which are related to the biology. Branches which are related to the biology. So there are so many number of branches which are mainly related to the biology. Means the study of the life is related to so many different type of organisms. Means we are studying any living organism that will be depends on different sciences, different knowledges which are related to that biology. Okay, so what are the different branches, how we are studying the organisms, and how the terminology will be there, now we will discuss in this class. Okay, so what is first one is morphology. What is that? Morphology. It is one of the branch of biology. In this morphology, we are mainly deals with structure and formation of the form and structure of the organisms. Form and structure of the organisms we are mainly studied in the morphology. So the name itself, morphology, gives the morpho means form, okay, logos means study. Means here what is the organism shape, size, color, shape, like different morphological features we can discuss. For example, you are seeing any new organism. So whenever you are giving introduction part to that about that organism to another person, then how you can explain about that particular organism. So what is the structure? What is the shape of that organism? What is the color of that organism? What is the size of organism? And how the organism will be behavior. So these are all means whatever the structure which is present, which is observed by their external features, you can explain simply by using that morphological characteristics. So that form means structure or the shape, size, color, texture, different parts are there, and study means about that study, okay. So knowledge. So morphology is nothing but study of different external and internal characteristics and external and internal structures of the organism is nothing but morphology. Okay, and then coming to the next one, that is about anatomy. What is that science? Anatomy. Anatomy is the science which is mainly deals with tissue, internal structure of tissues and tissue system, internal structure of tissues and internal organs and organ systems, how the structure will be there, and what are the different functions which are related to that, and what are the different tissues which are located inside the organs and organ systems. These are all comes under this anatomy part. So the branch which is study mainly about the different tissues and tissue systems which are present inside the organism, this comes under this anatomy. Then next coming to the next one, that is about cytology. What is that? Cytology. So here the cyto means cell, logos means study. Simply we can say that cytology is nothing but study of cells. Study of cells. Simply we can say the study of cells. So again your doubt is having cells. What is meant by cells? So if you take any living organism, that living organism body is mainly made with one of the simple part or simple structure, that is called as cell. So if you are discussing about any living organism, that living organism is comprising of so many different varieties of cells. For example, if you take in nature, there are many unicellular organisms are there, multicellular organisms are there. Unicellular means the organisms which are having only one single cell. So single celled organism. For example, if you take amoeba, like the irregular shape is there. So this amoeba is also having a different irregular shaped structure, and it is having only one cell. But our human beings, we can say we are having so many different varieties, so many million number of the cells in our body. So means here one cell organisms are there, multicellular organisms are there. Means if any organism you are saying means you are studying means basically that living organism is mainly made with one cell. Okay, so in our human body, due to the complexity, we are having so many million number of the cells inside of our body. So means cell is the structural and functional unit of our body. Okay, cell is the structural and functional unit of our organisms. So that's why we can say what are the cell structure and what are the parts which are present in that, what are the cell organelles which are present inside the cell. These are all we are studying about by using cytology. What is that science? Cytology. Next, coming to the next science, that is called as embryology. What is that science? Embryology. So embryology means study of embryo. Means whenever our organisms are formed, means first we are forming one zygote. Means during the fertilization process, means gametes will be formed. These gametes are undergoing union and it is further forming into zygote. So this zygote is further converted into embryo. So it is formed in our mother uterus. So this embryo is 1 month embryo, 2 month embryo, 3 month embryo. From that inside our mother uterus, that embryo will be grows, and so many different developmental changes will be occurs in that embryo. Then finally it leads to a new organism. Then after delivery, it is coming to the outside of the environment during the birth. So what are the changes? What are the developmental activities which are occurs whenever any organism is developing from the embryo? Whenever any organism is developing from the embryo, what are the developmental changes which are occurs inside the mother uterus? That can be discussed in this embryology. Embryology means the study is nothing but embryonic formation and the developmental changes which are occurs in these organisms. Okay, then coming to the next one, that is about physiology. What is that science? Physiology. So physiology means nothing but study of different cellular functions or different organ system functions. These are all comes under physiology. So physiology means, for example, if you take digestive system. In the digestive system, there are so many number of organs are there. For example, food will be taken by our mouth. From the mouth inside buccal cavity is there, saliva is there, and so many teeth are there, tongue is there, and from that it is going to the pharynx, from that esophagus, stomach, and large intestine, small intestine. So there are so many number of organs are there in our body to perform digestion process. So what are the functions of that particular organs and organ systems which are present in our body? These are all comes under this physiology. These are all comes under physiology. Okay, then coming to the next one, that is about paleontology. What is that? Science paleontology. So paleontology means nothing but study of fossils. So fossils means the remnants of organisms after death. So for example, our human beings are undergoing, after their lifetime, they will undergoing death. So after death we are going to the soil. So in the soil, after several years also, there will be means in our the other organisms are go and bury that organism, whatever the dead organisms are there, they will be buried inside the soil, or they are burnt in the soil. Okay, during the burning or burying, so some of the organelles which are present inside that body will be remained inside the soil only. So the remnants which are remained from the organism's body, that remnants, about that remnants of the organisms, we can study easily by fossils. So by using these fossils, we can also tell how much age for that fossil will be there. So it is a 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 50 years, 100 years. That fossil age also we can describe by using that paleontology. So in that paleontology, again it is divided into mainly two types. One is paleobotany and the second one is paleozoology. Paleobotany means nothing but study of plant fossils. After death of the plants, how the remnants of the plant debris. So that will be discussed in plant fossils. Then coming to the animal fossils means after death of the animals, what are the remnants of the organisms, that will be comes under this paleozoology. So these are all comes under this paleontology. Okay, what is that science? Paleontology.